I'm going to show you some of the ways that I organize in my sewing room, and hopefully it'll give you a couple of tips and tricks that you can try in your own sewing room. I just think that being organized really helps us get the most out of our sewing time. So I'm going to kind of give you a little tour of my sewing room. I guess the first thing I want to say is I have a room that's about 10 by 12, so I've got a decent sized room for my sewing. Some people don't have that much room. Some people have to work at the dining room. So this is how you use your sewing room to the best extent you can. Okay, and first I'm going to switch the camera around and start showing you some of the things I do in my sewing room. So first thing I'm going to talk about, and bear with me as I move the camera around, is how to extend the space in your sewing room. So what I have here is the closet. Believe it or not, this is the closet in my sewing room. So if you have a smaller sewing room, one way to increase your space is to convert the closet into an extension of the sewing room. So here I've got my cutting area. I've got my cutting table. I've got fabric storage under here. So you can see I've got some of my stash down there. And then I use the shelf at the top for like a bookshelf. I've got my rulers hung on the wall. So that's another thing. If you've got a small space and you can't spread out, then the next best thing is to go up. So use your walls. So I've got rulers here. I've even got rulers on this wall here. And you can see this light here for lighting in the closet. I've got these two clip lamps I bought at the hardware store that work great for additional lighting. So use your closet. Don't just use it for storage. Turn it into part of the sewing room. Give yourself some more elbow room. So the next thing I want to show you are these plastic drawers. And you're going to see in my sewing room, I love plastic drawers. They're actually intended for scrapbooking. But I don't scrapbook, so I use them for my sewing things. So I'm going to show you, this is the perfect size for bias tape, rotary cutting supplies. I even have buttons. And you can even see I've got my buttons organized by color. I like to organize things by color. So this is a real great way to get some organization in your sewing room. And what's nice about it is that you can see right in the front what's going on there. You know what's in there. These white cabinets. Now these white cabinets, I got them at our local store is Myers. You know, I'm not sure what you have in your area, but these were simple put together cabinets. And they come with shelves, but who says you have to use the shelves? So I actually did not use the shelves on this, and this is the perfect size for bolts of things. Now I have bolts of fusibles and muslin to use for my, when I'm creating patterns. You might have bolts of fabric, but this is the perfect size to store those bolts so they don't get dirty. Okay, then back here, more plastic drawers. Now here's another great way to do this. Organize your scraps by color. If you notice, I've got these drawers with different colors in them. And what I do is I just use the rainbow and I organize by that. And that way when you're, you need some scraps and you need a certain color, you're not wasting a bunch of time hunting for them. So this is an easy way to keep track of things. And what I do is when a drawer gets too full, so if the drawer gets too full, then it's time to share my scraps with somebody else. So that's how I keep the scraps under control. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to show you is a nifty little trick. Drinking straws. Who would have thought you could use a drinking straw in the sewing room? But you can. And you can see here what I did is I took a drinking straw and I cut it to length. so that the spool and the bobbins go together. Now that alone is really cool because if you can see, all the bobbins are with their coordinating spools of thread. So I don't have to hunt around for anything. Everything's right there. I got what I need. But let's say I'm working on a project that has 3 different colors of thread, you know, like purple and maybe yellow. I'll just do that for now. So now I'm going to take this over here by my sewing machine. And if you can see this little spool holder, I love this thing. Apparently it's called a bobbin holder, but this is what I do. I've got this on the drinking straw, and all I got to do is just set it on there. And there you've got everything you need for your current project. So that makes it super simple, super organized. And then when you're done, you just put it back on the rack. Cute little notions bag here. This is one of my patterns. It's called the Catch-all Cutie. And as you can see, it sits real nice by my sewing machine. So this holds all kinds of little notions in there. I love this. I came up with this because I kept knocking stuff off my sewing table. I needed a place for little stuff. So you've got this, you can fit a pin cushion in there, you could fit spools of thread in there. And what's cool about this is that you can actually flip this up and you can zip it up. I'll show you that real quick. So now it's zipped up and you can actually take it with you. So then when you, or move from room to room. If you've got different sewing areas, you can move from room to room. Then when you want it to use it, you can just open it up and flip it open. And then on the back here, there's actually another pocket, nifty little pocket here for small things, like bobbins, packets of needles, that kind of thing. I have one of these by each of my machines, and I can't tell you how much I love it. It just helps me stay organized so well. If you can see, just kind of like you saw with my buttons, these are shoebox size, and I just categorize all kinds of stuff in there, and that just really helps to keep things from being all over the place. So that's what I have for you today. And if you're interested in the Catch-all Cutie, I'm going to put the link in the description so you can get a hold of that. Another nice thing about that, it can also, if you change out the fabrics, it can organize makeup, it could organize kids' art supplies, it could organize desk supplies, so it's pretty handy, pretty versatile. So that's it. I hope that I've inspired you to do a little organizing yourself. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.